would like to switch gears. We did have a conversation recently, and the information you gave me, I think, is key, is very important to share with my viewers, and that is appraisal, right? So, as a real estate agent, when I'm helping my clients buy, I want us to buy. I will advise my client to pay for the appraised value or to pay less than the appraised value.
Oh, yeah.
Now, recently, actually, it was last week that I just closed on a house with one of my clients. The appraised value came out to be less than what we offered.
Yeah.
We negotiated, but they didn't want to go to the appraised value. They wanted to stick with their listed price. By the way, we offered more than the listed price.
Okay.
My client needed one needed to buy a house as soon as possible, and that was the only house that she liked after looking at multiple homes. So we decided to offer more than what they were asking for. So can you repeat what you told me on the call, when we had that conversation?
So, in because I think we talked about a few things around that. So, are
Mhm.
we referring to? I guess there's two things because I think we had a longer conversation about this. Are we referring to the fact that it's okay to pay more than list, or
Yes.
okay, that's
It's okay to pay more than the appraised value.
fair enough. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah. So when we counsel somebody, we do things a little bit differently as a lender. We have a session, which we call a strategy session with all of our buyers, because we want them better prepared to go out into the marketplace. And one of the things that we cover almost immediately when we talk about the marketplace is we find the community that they're looking at. We look up the stats with the realtor board and we determine, okay, you're looking in I think I just pulled this up, Glendale Heights. So if you were to pull Glendale Heights, Illinois, for the closings that happened in July of 2024, super recent, 74% of the homes closed over list price. And there was, I want to say 30 or 39 homes. We looked at a couple communities that day. Either way, three quarters of those homes sold over list. Now, that begs the question, if the realtor and the seller picked a number, whatever that is, and a bunch of people decided that they really wanted these houses because they were competing with other buyers and they paid over list. Well, what does that really mean? The first thing that we'll talk about is it okay to pay over list? My answer is yes. And
Okay.
the reason I say that is because value is in what somebody's willing to pay for it. You, as a buyer, got to the point where you're paying more than the list on this property because somebody else was also willing to pay more than list.
Right.
And you had to outbid them to
Mhm.
win that offer. So if the house was listed at 250 and somebody was willing to go to 260 and you said, I'll go to 261, well, that is the value of that house because somebody was willing to pay 261
Yeah.
and somebody was standing right behind you willing to pay 260. Now, the
Yeah.
challenge the appraiser has is let's say they go in and they pull that area for very similar homes and
Mhm.
they see that the highest sale was about 250. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So the highest sale is 250, but you as a buyer paid 261. Now they are allowed to take in consideration the fact that it's a high demand market, and they're also allowed to use a little appreciation. So what do I mean by that?
Yeah.
Let's say the average appreciation in Glendale Heights was 5% over the last year. Let's say that sale had happened 6 months ago. Well, that sale of 250, I can actually add 2.5% to it.
I see.
So because the market is 5% a year, sale happened, and they'll do that on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So they'll do it on a monthly basis. For round numbers, let's say Glendale Heights is appreciating at 6%, and that sale happened 3 months ago. Well, they're able to actually go half, a half, a half, and add 1.5% to the value because that's the appreciation rate. So
Yeah.
that's helpful. But now let's say the appraisal came in at 260. You paid 261. And the fact of the matter is you're willing to pay that. Yes, it's 1,000 over what the property appraised for.
Hmm.
But when your sale closes, guess what the new comparable is? It's your sale. So
Yeah.
now
Okay.
261 is the price for that type of property in that subdivision, in that community.
Okay.
That's the new price.
Okay.
And think about it this way. This is a really important distinction. If people weren't willing or able to pay more than the last sale, then we would have no appreciation. The market would be flat. We would
Yeah.
have no appreciation. Oh, Patrick, I'm sorry. You paid 261, but it only appraised for 250. You got to go down to 250. No, that's not the way a free market works. It's going to be worth 261 because a couple of people were willing to pay for it, and that's the new price for homes in that subdivision
Okay.
that look like that and are finished like that and all that stuff.
Yeah. Thank